In ancient Greece, thinker and philosopher Parmenides divulged the simple structure to how physical and immaterial things work in our world. Everything has its polar opposite. I'll give a few examples. A hot cup of coffee in relation to a tepid one. On and off. Good versus evil. These opposites worked on a system of positive and negative, as if everything had a sinister twin. Thousands of years later, author Milan Kundera fires an opening salvo at Parmenides, questioning, in the light-heavy dynamic, is heaviness truly deplorable and lightness pure? By late February, routine had set in. I was sick. A throat infection had locked me indoors indefinitely. I missed the last 2 weeks of the pub I worked at being open. I didn't experience any of the cautious swims or walks in the park with friends before we were all locked in. My routine was concrete. Bedridden, uninspired, and unemployed. Looking back at it, it felt heavy. Thick lungs wheezed. Getting up was like lifting a pack of bricks on my back. Eyelids failed me. Checking current affairs weighs down on the psyche. I connected with my father at this time, but it was often over the chit-chat of infection rates, the deaths, who's getting hit the hardest, when will Centrelink return a call. Over the past few weeks, I think we've all seen the rolling tolls and the ever-present press releases differently. They are utterly weightless. Human connection is lost in tragedy at a distance. If someone is not directly affected by a few degrees, Corona is just a nuisance, a pestilence. Albert Camus in The Plague describes, a pestilence isn't a thing made to man's measure. Therefore we tell ourselves that a pestilence is a mere bogey of the mind, a bad dream that will pass away. But it doesn't always pass away, and from one bad dream to another, it is the men who pass away. Every morning I woke to the same white wall, with the same white ceiling and the ever-sturdy white door that defends my entrance to the white hall into the white bathroom. I listen to white music. I dance white. Whiteness holds two prominent sensual metaphors within myself at this time. The white noise of no music, and the empty white page of unfinished art or uninspired uni work. This conveys a feeling of a lack. Motivation specifically, though a blank canvas has an infinitude of possibilities for creation, its whiteness is altogether uninspiring. My grandfather is in hospital. I can feel that he feels white. I can't imagine the loneliness of the ward. White is not white. The receptivity that senses white is what gives birth to whiteness. We cannot look for white. We need to search instead for a way of feeling that will sense white. Depending on this search for the receptivity that senses white, we will be able to aim our consciousness towards a white that is a little whiter than the average white. I am nothingness, a lack, dehumanized by the other and deceived even by myself. Yet I am free, I am transcendent, I am consciousness, and I make the world. Nothing is impossibly uncategorical. Its own conception is incredibly hard to grasp. Is it the light, white, noiseless, empty feelings we have on an aimless day? But they are feelings and perceptions though. How can we say we feel nothing when feeling itself is something? Am I really doing nothing by not getting out of bed until mid-morning? Have I done nothing of this job? Or thought nothing about someone I may or may not have started to let slip from my circle of communication? Is my nothingness valid? Can you blame me at the moment? Guilt over doing nothing in a time of crisis? How am I to compare to an essential worker? I'm not risking anything, my life particularly. But by doing nothing, how many am I saving? This lack of clarity is nothingness to me. Like the bokeh in the background of a photo, it holds substance. And it is there, but it is so unclear, and the soft out-of-focusness permeates a feeling of confusion and loss. Milan Kundera postulates that lightweight opposition is the most mysterious and ambiguous Parmenidean question we face. I argue that it is a question of nothingness and substance that invigorates and nauseates. To imagine nothingness, you have to be there already, in the midst of the world, eyes wide open and alive. Nothingness was only an idea in my mind, an existing idea floating in this immensity. This nothingness had not come before existence. It was an existence like any other and appeared after many others. I shouted, "Filth! What rotten filth!"